Yeah.
So we're going to pretend it's just suicide coming down here. Yes? Okay. Now, with suicide coming down here, here's one of the things that is often an issue. People, when you needle this, put a pillow under here. Before you do the bifurcating stem and stuff like that, put a pillow on here. Because this is now all being stretched. And it's a small thing, but put a pillow there, and then needle, and then it's going to be more effective, and it's going to be more comfortable, and then it's not going to hurt as bad. And I'm not really, I don't really care that much if I hurt them. You know, but the thing is, it's not going to work as well because their body's fighting, right? Elevate it up a little bit with a pillow. Make sense? Okay. But tway means you drive away from you, yes? So you're going to drive away and down the gallbladder channel. You can do tway, of the 8 principles of tway knot, tway is one of them, right? But what form you take of it depends on where you fit together with the patient. Meaning if I'm over here and I'm going to push down, I may work with my thumb, I may work with my hand. This is known as tway. This is known as tway, right? These are both tway. This, I could work with this side. This is known as tway. This is still tway, but it's tway, yes? Because gun is this rolling part of the forearm. This is tway, which is still rolling, but tway is wrist. So it's tway, right? This is also tway, right? And this is a type of sliding tway, right? This is tway, which is slippery tway. Right, so you can name many. You're like, oh, there's so many different techniques. That's not. It's 8 basic ideas, but each one has a variation of name based to say what surface am I needing together. Fine, but for the pseudosciatica, which is going to predominate in here, around the hip, and down in this band down to here, you want to tway. However you're going to tway, you tway. Usually in cycles of 3. Then you want to moor. Moor is horizontal cross fiber. Moor. And again, this is John Moor. You can gun moor, right? You can wan moor, right? You can moor with any surface. You can jolt moor, which is elbow surface, and boy that hurts, right? But that's moor, right? And you also want to pie. Which is John pie, right? Which is slapping with the hand. John pie. No, John pie. You can tren pie, slap with the fist. You can Joe pie, slap with the elbow. That tends to hurt a lot, right? So it depends on how big the guy is. But the pie is dependent again. Okay. But you can pie very lightly. This is jer pie, finger pie, right? But
pie more or tway more pie?
Tway pie more. So you want to. So in application, right? You would tway down, then you pie, right? Then you more. What tway? What does tway do? It moves the chi in the channel, right? Helps to drain the channel, yes? Then, what does pi do?
Right.
Breaks stasis, right? And then more harmonizes chi and pi. Yes? Okay. Now, would jifa, which is incising pressure, which is like acupressure, would that help?
Somewhat. No.
Not on this. They'll feel good for a couple minutes. Never seems to last. Okay? Why? Doesn't seem point specific. This whole thing seems, when it's gallbladder involves suicide, then just single point specific, like they'll be like, yeah, dig it in there, you can do it. And then done, and you're like, and then you go in.
What
so
about
funny,
treating 30?
It does.
I was treating a friend last night with
This?
and I was doing that with the elbow on the side of the leg. But I did also tway.
But it's not going to hurt them.
Yeah.
It may feel good. It's not going to make the long-lasting therapeutic effect. Why? Because now if they are also generally blood stagnant, generally this, or they have a deep abiding pain deep in the joint, sure, that's a different condition. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this radiating thing down this line. That individual elbow is not going to help it so much. Okay. So
Yeah,
I wasn't
getting any releases.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It doesn't do that. So it's not that it's a bad technique, it's just not going to work for this. Now, would you figure that out over time? Yes. The purpose of this class is make you know all these things so that you can go figure other things out over time. Okay. So far, so good, yes? Okay. And you work your way down. Now, it is most effective to work it down into here also. Right? Now, this is also tway, working tway down in here. Tway. And then pied up. Right? Pied up. And then more fun.
So you consider gunfa to be a subsection of tway?
Tway is not a technique, tway is a direction.
I see.
Tway is force driving away from. The techniques are like nozzles on a vacuum.
Oh.
Right? The vacuum really only has one thing. It has all those nozzles and those funky attachments and the little thing that you get the initial blinds with and all that. But those just let you fit the surfaces better. The different techniques of twin na are ways to fit the surface better and not hurt your back. But the basic idea in twin na is twe, na, right? More, on, the directions, right? Then it is G, incising force, like cutting in, G to incise, right? Then it's pi, percussive force, pi, pied up, percussion, it spreads out, right? Then it's rho, also called so, something called rho so, which is scrubbing or scratching force, force that is, it's scattered across the surface, not exactly clear where it is.
Is that like it's a weird?
It can release its own, yes. And then the last one is ya. Ya is a binding pressure, comes down and stops, does not continue to push. More like a cast. How does a cast heal you? A cast heals you by holding you in place and your body reorganizes itself. If she's very, very, very deficient, you ya, you just hold. That wouldn't be pseudo-sciatica, but the thing is you would hold. And ya is a holding technique, and you just need time, it's a binding pressure. Those are the 8 principles of twin na that infuse all twin na. That's not the techniques.
Right.
The techniques meet first the 8 facings of the hand to make 64 standard classic techniques, but then you can have hundreds and hundreds of techniques, but they're all working in those 8 physics directions. Otherwise, all it is a collection of random techniques. Yeah, I've got 122 techniques. Okay, when do you use them? Like I use this one for that. If you have principles, you can make a technique. Technique grows over time, but the directions are important and the techniques preserve your body. Because the biggest thing with guys who do body work is they hurt themselves. Okay, makes sense? Yes? Okay, we've done all this. And then you want to na. It says na on gallbladder 40. So you come down to gallbladder 40 and you want to na. What's na?
Grasping.
Pull towards you. Boom. Pull towards you.
Are you at the same time also distracting the hip joint, or only on the
2 millimeters. Right? You're not drawing out.
But just a little bit.
You're not.
Oh, I see. I see.
Nah.
To create a downward on the whole channel.
Yes. Nah. And it will help this gallbladder-driven sciatica. Pseudo-sciatica.
Does it matter whether you're on the tendon or you're next to the tendon?
It's a thumb.
Okay.
The thumb's big. Right? You want to be in the gallbladder 40 area.
Okay.
The thumbprint of gallbladder 40,
Mhm.
and then down towards the bottom. Okay? Not digging, not incising, not digging for China. That's G. You want to pull towards you. Make sense? And that whole thing, that gallbladder-driven sciatica helps shift you. Yay! Thank you very much. Make sense?